we're going to take our back 2 halves and we're going to divide them into 2. So take that one, so you got a top half and a bottom half, and you want to make sure you clean it up too, so that way it's nice and even on both sides. Once you finish that one up, you're going to go ahead and move over to the other one. Double check your work. All right, now we're going to take that back section and then we're going to split that in half. Once you split that in half, split the other one in half. Now you're going to have 4 on your back row. Clean them up real nice. This is that time when you're going in and cleaning your rows up with your jam. Make sure that they're nice and neat. All right, for the next row. That row, when we part it, we are going to put our parts directly in the middle of the row below it. So we have a part that we're going to do, and it's going to go right to that middle section of that braid that we made below it. So as you see, that part goes right down to the middle of the next one. And we're going to do the same thing with the next one, right down the middle. So that tip goes right to the middle of the braid, right below it. Now it's going to lay right in the middle of that part in the row that is below it. And you want to continue that the entire head. So each time you do it, make sure that your braid is going to lay directly in the middle of the part that is below it. All right, we are done with the back. So now for the front. The front part, we actually want to pay attention to the client's face again. So this time when we take it apart, we're going to part right where the hairline changes. And we need 2, just like we did 2 in the back nape area. We keep those even to keep the style even. So you see where the hairline changes there? It will go directly to where your client's eyebrow points up and then goes down. So right where that arch is at, that's where it will line up with the part. And you're just going to follow that line going straight across and clean it up. So now you can see there, the line goes directly from her, the part goes directly from her eyebrow going all the way back. Then you're going to bring those 2 parts together by making a line that goes across over to that other part. This is creating your horseshoe that goes at the top of the head. Same thing, the arch in the eyebrow, make your part, section it off, make sure that they're even, then go to the other side. Now we're going to connect that line to the other line to make our horseshoe look really nice. So now we're going to go ahead and clean it up. After you've cleaned it up, it should look like this. You would have a perfect horseshoe on the top. If you guys are liking this video so far, like and subscribe so that way I know and I can create some more. If you have some questions or suggestions, drop them down there in the comments below. All right, for the 2 rows in the middle section, we want to make sure we put that in directly in the middle for that line to separate it into 2, just like we did the bottom row at the nape. This gives us a line to connect to when we're doing that front part. So as we bring it to the front, double checking your front, is it clean? Now we have one nice good section and a second one. Now we're going to go through and clean it up real good, just like we did the other sides. Once we clean them up, I like to just braid them off so that way they're out the way. And do the same thing with that top one. Now we're going to go to the other half of the head and repeat the exact same steps. Make sure that you got 2 sections, your 2 sections meet, and make sure they are cleaned up and even. Then we want to go ahead and braid them off just to get them out the way. All right, now we have our 4 sections. We're going to use the 2 bottom ones And we're going to start doing the same thing that we did to our second row in the nape, but we're going to connect those two rows. So line, part, goes directly down into the next row. Now we have our first square in that third row, and it falls right directly where we need it. Look at that size to make your size next to the ear. You want to keep them the same size, that way you keep the same size parts going all the way around the entire head. If you change this up and turn that into 3, then your bricks are not going to lay the exact same way as it should going across the entire head. You see how now they're lining up? You can see the parts going there. We're going to do the same thing, going all the way, finishing up this row, and we're going to do it on the next row. While you guys are working through, always make sure that you are cleaning up your work as you're going. So you see here, it was just a little off. It's better to fix these while you're actually working through putting in your parts instead of trying to fix it or seeing that the set is crooked after you finish the entire head. That's another reason why a lot of people like to pre-part doing this whole entire part, especially if you're a beginner, because it's nice to be able to see and correct your work before you complete and do all of the braids. It's way too much work to go back and do it over. So now that we are finishing up on this one, we're about to do the horseshoe. The horseshoe should still look like bricks going across, even if you are not doing a middle part. Middle parts come out a lot more seamless as far as seeing it going all the way up the head. This one is going to look a little different because this is for someone if they do not want a middle part. This is the traditional way for doing a bricklayer party. For your top, you want to part directly in the middle of the braids off to the side of it. So you'll see again on this next one, I'll show you again. We have a part and a part. We're going in the middle of that braid. Go straight across, all the way to the other middle of the other braid. You guys will see a different angle once I finish getting all of them on here. If you pay attention, every set you do, no matter if it is a small, jumbo, large, medium, no matter, your top area is going to be double whatever your side areas are. So if your side and your napes are 2, like this set, your top is going to be 4. That is how you make sure you have the exact same number and everything lines up and the bricks actually lay how they should. This is the side view, right in the middle. You have a braid going right in the middle of the part on each side. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing that we did to the sides and the nape in this top area. Go directly in the middle, so that way we have a middle braid and a part. Now clean that one up. We're going to have 2 there, so that way it falls right where those 2 parts are. See? That is the only spot where it would actually have something that looks like a triangle. You guys may see that as well on the guides when you look at them. Now we're going to go to the next row and do the same thing. This row is the widest section of the head, so it's going to have a different size, just a tad, compared to the rest of the set. I like to go down a size instead of making the braids larger in size in this row. So as you see, I'm slimming them out so that way they have more instead of making them bigger where it looks bulky in that top section. So they're like a half a size, not even that, smaller than the next row. All right, now to your next row, we're going to do the same thing again. Make sure that part is going directly in the middle, go into that next braid. Now I know that one could have been cleaned up a little bit more for the straight line across, but yeah, you guys get the gist by now. It's easier done on a client versus on the mannequin heads. Now when you clean up your very front one, This one, some people will downsize it because the client may want their braids closer together. If it is a large set, I'm leaving it as a large set, and it's going to actually look like this on the very front. And as you see, everything lines up, and you want to check your work. Always check your work. Do everything fall directly in the middle of the parts? See, right in the middle of each one. Same thing going all the way to the back of the head. It should create the same thing. Braids fall right in the middle over every part. This way, when your client is outside, they are not seeing long parts going directly down the middle of their head, off to the side of their head. You should never see a long part anywhere on a bricklayer set, from a side view, back view, or front view. Going on the side here, you got your middle braid, part, and a middle braid. And it's going to be the same thing going from the back all the way to the front. And now you see your bricks laid. It looks like stairs from a side view. And this literally goes all the way across and top of the head. I'm going to show you there as well. If you guys do this right, you can see stairs going all the way from the top all the way to the back. That's from the top of the head, and we go work it all the way to the back of the head. Stairs. And parting it off just in case the hair is too fluffy and it's hard for you to see. There you can see it again. It zigzags, parts, stairs all the way to the back. This is how you get the nice clean finish. When you guys want to style them and have them hold them up all pretty and you see all the layers in the rows, this is it. Bricklayer should be seamless. You should be able to do this with every size, and as well any type of parting style that you are doing that includes a bricklayer. This is the box for the bricklayer on all different sizes.